Welcome to Osaka, Japan. I'm at the castle right now, and I want to tell you guys a few things that I learned about Japan and a few things that you should know before traveling to Japan. Firstly, there's a tax. There's a secret 8% tax on all foods and some services. You see, when you go and buy something from the shop, sometimes if you go to the shopping center, it will show one price and then it will show a higher price. You have to pay the higher price. The reason they have both of them is some sort of bureaucracy crap. But there's a secret tax on everything else. So what will happen is you'll go into, say, a restaurant, or you'll buy something from a shop, and you will think that the label that says, say, 100, you come over, you'll buy something, and you come over and try and pay 100 yen or 1,000 yen. It'll turn out that 8% will be marked on top of that secretly. So if you go pick something up from the shelf and it says 100, and you go to the checkout, it will actually cost you 108 cents. And I've been stung a few times myself because they don't actually mark the 8% markup. You're just supposed to know that. Two, when you get a hotel, one thing I recommend you do is check whether it's smoking or non-smoking, because I accidentally fell into the trap of getting a smoking hotel. I didn't read it properly. But the thing is, smoking doesn't mean that you have the opportunity to smoke if you like. It means that your hotel will smell like smoke. So I'm a non-smoker, and I am secondhand smoking in my room because it comes through the air conditioning. I had to turn the air conditioning off and leave the window open the entire time just so I can get some fresh air into my hotel room. So that's a warning for you guys when you're getting a hotel. Make sure it says no smoking if you don't smoke, and you don't want to get lung cancer by secondhand smoke by staying in the wrong hotel. Three, yes, they don't really speak English over here in Japan, so it's going to be tough in some aspects for you. A lot of the menus, parts of the train stations, and little to no people in Japan actually speak English. So if you speak English, you're going to have a lot of trouble in Japan if you get a little bit lost. So make sure that you have Google Maps working so you can find out where you're going. And that brings me to another point, which is when you buy a SIM card so that you have data so that you can access Google Maps in Japan, you only get data. You don't get phone calls, and you do not get text messages. This is just some sort of an anomaly with SIM cards in Japan, which I don't quite understand. So you cannot text or call anybody. You can only buy data, and it's quite expensive. It'll only be 7 days, or it might just be 2 weeks, or even a month. And you might only get 200 megabytes, so you have to be very careful when you're using your data. Also, there's not a lot of Wi-Fi around, so I find myself looking for Western shops like the Apple Store or McDonald's just so that I can access the free Wi-Fi. And you also need to have a local number, so you make sure you get a SIM card, and then they'll send you a text message before you can actually connect to the internet. That's another tip for you guys out there. Buying food in shops. If the shopping center, so there's two types of shopping centers that have English writing on. There's Lawson's and there's Family Mart. If it has English in the title anywhere, they are going to be more expensive than the ones that have Japanese writing. So avoid the Lawson and the Family Mart because they'll be more expensive than going to the one that just has Japanese writing everywhere, and the people will just 100% Japanese, and they definitely do not speak English in there. Go into those ones because they'll be so much cheaper than going into the Lawson's or the Family Mart. Oh, and just a warning for people like me out there that have like disabilities. See, my hips are a mess. I need to have a hip replacement really soon. My knee hasn't got hardly any cartilage left in it, and my back's got all these problems. So I can't really walk more than 100 meters without being in pain. So I have this constant chronic pain, and walking too far is a big problem for me. There's not too much public seating in Japan, especially in Osaka, and the train stations, they can go for several hundred meters in long lines before you reach the gate, and you have to do a lot of walking in Japan. So if you have any leg problems, any back problems, and you cannot walk for a very long period of time, I think you need to take that into account when coming to Japan, because public seating is almost non-existent. I've found myself sitting on the floor or sitting on steps a lot in Japan, because I can't walk that far because I have chronic pain. So for some reason in Japan there is a real lack in public seating. They don't want people sitting in public for some reason. So be aware of that if you have a disability and you can't walk for a long period of time. Also, there's a lot of stairs, and they're parts that are not very disabled friendly. When you look at the maps, when you look at the machines, the ticket machines, everything, and the people working here, none of them speak English. So that would be okay if we weren't in a tourist hotspot, but I'm at the Osaka Castle, which is a tourist hotspot, and there's nothing here in English. So keep in mind that you definitely need to have Google Maps working on your phone so that you have an idea, and just trust Google Maps, get on the train, and then hope that you are going in the right direction. That's probably the best way, and that's how I've been doing it. So if that was helpful, give me a thumbs up, and click that subscribe button and click the bell icon so that you actually find out when I upload from now on. So because there's a little bit of a problem with the YouTube system at the moment, so if you click the subscribe button, also click the bell icon just in case. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.